This is Umar for BoxNation after a busy weekend up in Birmingham, obviously for yourself, Sam. Um,
Yeah,
two big fight nights for yourself with
three.
Hamza, Cameron,
Connor won.
and Connor Walker as well, who had a really
Yeah.
good win.
Mark
Over,
Dickinson boxed in Newcastle as well.
oh, did he?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, okay. I actually want to speak to you about the main event first before we get stuck
Of
into
course.
your guys. Sonny Edwards announced his retirement in the ring. But I guess the more shocking point of the night was when he went back into the corner in round two and said to his corner, I don't want to be in here. Um, if you're a trainer in that situation, Sam, are you pulling him out in that moment?
If I'm a trainer, probably yeah, because I don't want to see him get hurt. Probably yeah. But I've not been in camp with Sonny or I'm not gonna slag the trainer off. Chris Williamson?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit there and slag him and say he's done the wrong thing because he's doing what he's thinking had it have been round seven, eight, and it had been going on time, but the second round, he's probably within his rights to say, come on, you've not worked this hard. There's all these people here. It's a big production. It's a huge show. The world's watching. Like, come on. Like an amazing fighter. Like, come on. So I'm not going to sit there and slag him. I'm just saying I'm not a trainer, so I'd have probably gone, huh? I don't know, but like I'm not gonna sit here and slag the trainer off because he's done what he believes is he was trying to G his man up. But yeah, it was hard to watch him. Honestly, it was hard to watch. As much as Sonny drives me absolutely round the bend, I've got so much respect for him for what he's achieved in boxing. From like, because I remember when he turned pro, and I remember Sonny from the amateurs, and I was thinking this little fella's not winning nothing as a pro. Like he's not. I'm being honest. I'm like he's not. He's not going to be strong enough. He's not going to do. And my God, he proved everybody wrong. He was untouchable, Sonny. Only not long ago, before the Bam fight, he was completely untouchable. Barely lost a round as a professional. So what an amazing career he's had if he does decide to hang it up. I mean, I hope that he'll have a long layoff and he gets his body back together because he's only 28 and he gets back in there. But if he has retired and he does choose to retire, unbelievable career. I know I went off subject there, but I was just giving a shout because he's done boxing the hard way. He's gone through from small halls all the way to main events, and his slogan is a big fights only, and that's all he's ever done. He's never ducked to dodge the challenge. So the more boxers like Sonny Edwards, the better.
Don't want to take away from Galal's performance. He was excellent in
No,
that day.
no, not at all. Galal done what he had to do. Galal, he just charged at him like a bull from the first bell. And I was sat next to Charlie, and from the first round, I thought the writing's on the wall here. Because I thought that Galal would catch up to Sonny, even though I thought Sonny would win a close. I picked him to win a majority points decision because I thought maybe a judge would like the aggression of Galal, but the boxing of Sonny. But he closed the distance in the first round. And I was looking at Charlie. I was like, flipping out. This is a long night. This is going to be a long night because Galal had tried. But Galal's feet aren't like your typical plodder that comes forward. Galal has fast feet. So he's going to take some stopping. But massive shout out to Galal Yafai. Great win. Huge win for Galal. And fair play to two men putting on that because Sonny wanted out after the second round, but he bit down on his gum shield and he made Galal earn it for the next few rounds. So big shout out to him, man. But it was just a bit of a sad watch, if I'm perfectly honest. From my perspective, it was a sad watch because that wasn't the Sonny that we used to seeing. I'm not saying Galal wouldn't have beaten a prime Sonny Edwards, but Sonny's like if you can but Bam wasn't getting to him that quick. Do you know what I mean? He got it quick. He got him quicker than he closed the distance quicker than what Bam did. And like I believe Bam's just that probably a level above Galal at the moment. He's a pound for pound star, Galal Bam at the moment. But that's not to say Galal won't get to those levels. But right now, Bam's there. I know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it was a sad watch, Umar.
Just before that, we had Connor Walker, brilliant win over Lewis Ritson, and
Yeah,
I guess that gives Connor a lot of exposure. Like
Yeah,
just before the main event. Lewis Ritson's a well-known name in British boxing, so you
yeah.
can really move Conor Walker forwards with that win, I guess, Sam.
Yeah, what I wanted to do for Connor, because he'd asked me for a couple of years, I'd come and like jump on board with me, and I thought, nah, nah, I'm busy. But I watched his performance against Croc, and I just thought this guy needs an opportunity. Like, and I wanted him on the home side of the poster. Don't want to just bring him in to lose, because he sells a lot of tickets and he brings fucking value, Umar, every single fight. So I wanted to kind of put him in a position where he can get a belt around his waist, whether that's a British, European, whatever. But I want him to win a belt, and I want him to make a shitload of money to secure his family's future. That's what I want. I just want to make Conor Walker a load of money, and he can be in unbelievable fights. I thought he was a little bit flat, to be honest with you, against Lewis on Saturday. I was just being honest. I thought he was a little bit flat.
It's only the last round where it proper got into gear, I thought.
Yeah, it got it. Yeah, yeah, it did. But like, it's better for his health doing that. Like not not having a Crocker style war. But Ritson kind of, it wasn't negative, but Ritson was just boxing, doing enough, like in the rounds. But he was doing not enough to survive. But he was competitive, but it was one sided in my opinion to Conor Walker. And now I want to make. Frank Warren, if you're listening, George Warren, if you're listening, Eddie, Frank Smith, let's make Echo Esserman against Conor Walker. That's the fight to make next for both men. Two brilliant lads with two all-action styles. It is the perfect fight to make for both men. It is a main event anywhere in the Midlands. Not Echo's from Nottingham, Connor's from Wolverhampton. It is an absolute fucking banger, that fight is. And that's the fight I want to make next for Conor.
What if it's offered on an undercard of a 5v5 in May?
Yeah, fine. Absolutely. Come on, Umar. Snap your hand off. Perfect. Let's do it. But that fight, if Turkey Al Sheikh wants to give fans value for their money, trust me, anybody that knows boxing knows that fight cannot be anything other than an absolute violent war. So let's get that fight on next.
Okay. Right, moving on to Gavin Gwynne versus your guy Cameron Vuong. Just be
Yes.
honest with you, Sam. I've not really seen anyone who had Cameron winning that fight, apart from the judges.
Yeah, there's if you look at the comments, there's a lot of comments saying they thought Cam won, but granted, the majority of people thought Gavin Gwynne won the fight. And when I was sitting there ringside, I was thinking that Cameron is like Cameron's the better boxer. No, that can't be disputed, right? He's the better boxer. He's landing the better shots, but Gavin Gwynne pushing his shots out. He was outworking Cameron at times, old manning him at times. And when the bell went at the end, I thought we're we're probably not going to get the win. That's honestly what I thought at the time from where I was sitting. On the other side, people were saying there was a couple of the commentators had Cameron winning, a couple of the pundits had Cameron winning. But when the scores got read out, I thought, bit of a relief. I'm going to be honest. I didn't think it was a robbery in a million years. But then I watched it back on the telly. I thought Cameron won the fight. I thought
Really?
Cameron landed I thought Cameron won the better shots. Listen, Umar, Mark Dickinson boxed in Newcastle in Japan, right? It was a very, very close fight. But I had the Japanese guy winning, right? Lots of people online saying, oh, Mark's been robbed. I didn't think so. I thought the Japanese guy won. I thought Cameron landed the better shots. And Gavin Gwynne was look at the two of the faces at the end of the fight. A lot of the shots of Gavin was being pushed out, and Cameron was taking it on the gloves. But look, it's entirely my fault, because I shouldn't have put Cameron in that position in the first place. Because say if Cameron would have stood Gavin Gwynne on his head, right, and clinically outboxed him for 10 rounds, and Gavin didn't land a glove on him, Gavin Gwynne's over the hill. Yeah. So shite matchmaking on my part. So I'm to blame here. But what I want you to do, right, whether you agree with the decision or whether you don't, right, give Cameron some respect. Yeah. Blame me for the matchmaking, but give Cameron respect, because you see Eddie like saying, oh, these prospects that some of the prospects, oh, this is unbelievable, fighting journeymen, right, which is what they are. But when Cameron's fighting, I want to see props given to Cameron, because the fans want to see these types of fights. So you've got to give the props to the young kid that's 22 years old, right? And he's already got Jeff Ofori and Gavin Gwynne on his record. Now, Jeff Ofori, half his losses are wins. He's been robbed many times, Jeff Ofori, and Cameron lost a couple of rounds against him, but won convincingly. So just give Cameron some respect for what he's doing. We was never trying to rush Cameron to world level. I just wanted to get him to a level and keep him there. But Gavin Gwynne, couple of fights too soon, entirely fucking my fault. Blame me. And we will rematch Gavin Gwynne, but when the time's right. But it's going to be 2020. We're not going to hide, not going to not post on social media and to take a hiatus away. This is Cameron's, like fully said, hard fight, thought he won, but no problems if Gavin Gwynne won. That's the way I feel. But no, we will rematch Gavin Gwynne next year, but we'll have one in between, whether that's Jimmy Joe Flint or if Jordan Flynn finds his pen, we'll have that fight as well. But again, it's going to be a 10 round for Cameron. There's no backward steps. In the sense of the round lengths, that's what we're going to do. Cameron's as game as they come. Huge balls, huge talent. Just needs time to develop. His man strength's not even there. He's 22 years old, just turned. So all I'll say is give Cameron respect and give me the stick.
Sam, did you look at the fight between Chamberlain and Gwyn when Mark stopped him and thought this is a good time to get Cameron in there with Gwyn?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I thought we all thought, to be fair, me, Jamie, we thought that because of Gavin's not a big puncher, right? Gavin is not a big puncher. He didn't remotely hurt Cameron in the fight. He just had the nous and the experience in there. He was the experienced one in there. But Cameron's not a single punch knockout artist like Mark Chamberlain. Do you know what I mean? It's just two different types of fights. Did we think Gavin's on the slide? Yes, but he probably is on the slide because no one gets better at 34. But he's Gavin Gwynne has always been fit. We didn't want a shot version of Gavin Gwynne to come in the ring because, like I said, you're not going to get any credit for beating him. But in hindsight, 2 fights too soon, and that's on me. So we can't all be perfect, Umar. I pride myself on good matchmaking, but that one was a shite one, and that's my fault, not Cameron's. But credit to Cameron for showing enormous bollocks to get in there and slug it out with someone as seasoned as Gavin Gwynne, British, Commonwealth, European champion. Some of these fighters that are giving Cameron stick, their biggest wins are over journeymen. Cameron's boxed Jeff Ofori and Gavin Gwynne. He's 7-0. So yeah, we'll take it. And lessons learned. And huge 2025 for Cameron Vuong, who's going to be a special fighter. 22 years old. Remember that. Not no 28-year-old guy fighting journeyman. He's 22 years old.
Just the last one on that. So I thought Cameron started really sharp actually early on. He did look to tire, whether it's Gavin, his experience outmanning him at point, the middle point of the fight later on, etc. Lee, obviously, who manages Gavin, was fuming. What did he say to you after?
He's not going to be happy, is he?
What
He's
did he
not going to
say?
be. He just felt his man won the fight. He just felt his man won the fight. But listen, Lee's a great mate of mine, a really great mate of mine. And I went in there and seen Gavin. I gave him a hug. I've got huge respect for Gavin Gwynne. He's a friend. I would say he's a mate of mine. Like he's a tough man. Gavin Gwynne, another fighter that's done boxing the hard way. But yeah, Lee, and yeah, he weren't the happiest, but the judges, all 3 judges, scored it unanimously for Cameron.
Thoughts on Hamza?
Great performance from Hamza. Not as sharp as what he was in a couple of fights, but again, Hamza is boxing a Midlands area champion in his 3rd fight. What prospects at 21 years old do you see doing that? And he won every round against him. Brilliant jab, but not as sharp. There's a few things to work on with Hamza, but Hamza's special. Hamza's a special talent. And as I say, Birmingham's got some great little fighters coming through. Ibrahim, Spider, Hamza, but Hamza, woof, what a fighter he's going to be.
Right, just away from matters or yourself, that last interview we did, I'm actually dropping a clip tomorrow, which will be Tuesday, from that interview, which is an unbelievable line from yourself. So, I actually spoke to Frank on the way back from Manchester last week about that 200 grand bet, etc. He welcomes it. He has seen also what you said about that bet, and that he spilt more coming out of an Uber than 200 grand. But he denies
Anyone
all.
that's been on a dinner with Frank Warren knows he spares no expense when he goes out for dinner. Frank, the best bottle of red wine, sea bass, oysters, the lot. Yeah, Frank spilt more falling out an Uber in London.
No, some of the bills are quite outrageous. I will say that. But Sam, he denied all knowledge of like, and he just completely denied the fact that Martin Bacoli's ever broken Daniel Dubois' nose in sparring, which obviously Billy has said. He's denied that. Have you heard anything on the circuit about that, about Bacoli breaking Dubois' nose?
Come on, yeah, but you hear Bacoli's wrestled a great white shark, and like it's a running joke, isn't it? What Bacoli does in sparring, you only have to look online. However, Bacoli's a brilliant fighter, so there's no. I only give out what listen. Billy Nelson tries to give his and I'll come back. But yeah, look, Bacoli is a brilliant fighter. Um, but even if that had happened, yeah, even if that had happened, the Daniel Dubois of a few years ago isn't the Daniel Dubois of now. This isn't the same guy. Daniel Dubois now is a certified fucking demon. So it's a different. That's is a different animal. You can't like I remember Moses Atalma sparring Matt Harris and Joe. This is two different things. Although Moses was 16, whatever he was, he's a man. He's a different animal now. Fighters are getting better. We have to remember Daniel Dubois turned pro very young. And I'll be honest, I didn't. Well, after the Joe Joyce fight, I thought if he can get his head right between his ears, Daniel Dubois can become a champion. But even after that, when he went to Shane McGuigan, I thought he's not. He's not. This isn't it. But Don Charles or whoever, Kieran Farrell, whoever it is, has got into Daniel's head that you are a great fighter. You've got a good chin. You've got the best jab in heavyweight boxing, in my opinion. You're strong as an ox, and they've installed self-belief into Daniel. And you can only bow your head and acknowledge the fact that Daniel Dubois is well, he's a world heavyweight champion. I believe he should have had his crowning moment against Hrgovic, which I didn't give him a fucking prayer to win that fight, by the way. And he's every heavyweight will look at Daniel Dubois and think that is a hard night's work because Daniel, let's be honest, like he's not the most aware. So if you can only imagine the instructions, like Daniel, go out there and get him. That you can imagine it that being that kind of instruction, Daniel. It's like you turn a key in his back and he's like, and that's it. He's turned into a monster. And like what I've said this so many times before. Daniel Dubois must have a he's got to have a picture of Frank Warren on his mantelpiece at home. He's got to, because he's the best promoted fighter, one of the best promoted fighters in the history of boxing. And I'm not just talking about British boxing, I'm talking about world boxing, because Frank Warren could have thought, oh, I've put a fucking fortune into this guy. Lost against Joe, he got twatted against Lorena, but he got up and did well there. But he's the fact that they've stuck by him just shows if you do stick by him and you do believe, you have a promoter that believes in you, look what can happen. World heavyweight champion, and credit to the whole Daniel Dubois setup is the answer to that question about Bacoli. Even if that did happen, who gives a fuck? Different fighter, different man. And look where Daniel Dubois is and look where Martin Bacoli is. Daniel Dubois is earning millions and millions and millions. World heavyweight champion, Chin Joshua. Nobody wants to fight Bacoli. He's struggling to get a fight. That's not Bacoli's fault, by the way, but it's look where they are in their careers. But yeah, that's what I'll say on that matter, Umar.
Did you see the promo Riyadh season drop last night?
It's the best boxing promo ever. Probably the best promo I've ever seen, full stop, but it's the best promo they've done yet. Magnificent.
Incredible. Sam, appreciate your time. Congratulations on the weekend with your wins, and we'll catch up soon.
Thank you, Umar. Take care.
Nice one, mate.